Every afternoon, Arvi's walk home from school felt more like a mountain climb. Her backpack was a fortress of heavy textbooks, thick notebooks, and a massive geometry kit. As a ninth grader, she felt the pressure of upcoming exams, but mostly, she just felt the ache in her shoulders. The strap dug into her shoulder as she leaned forward, trying to balance the weight. When she finally reached home, Arvi collapsed onto a chair in the kitchen. She dropped the bag with a heavy thud that seemed to vibrate through the floor. "I have to memorize 3 chapters of physics tonight just to get the marks for the unit test," she groaned, burying her face in her hands. The bag sat beside her like a silent, heavy monster. Her uncle, Sarath, was leaning against the counter, sipping tea. He watched the heavy bag and then looked at Arvi. "You know, Arvi," he said gently, "education isn't meant to be a burden you carry on your back. It's meant to be a tool you carry in your mind. If you're just memorizing for marks, you're missing the point of why those books were written in the first place." Arvi looked up, skeptical. "The exams don't care if I understand, Uncle Sarath. They just care if I know the answers." Sarath smiled and picked up a stray orange from a bowl. "Let's test that. You've studied geometry and physics. Tell me, why are wheels round? Why not square or triangular?" He held the orange up, rotating it slowly in the light. Arvi paused. She had memorized formulas for circles and squares, but she had never really asked why. She closed her eyes and visualized a square wheel hitting a bump. "A square wheel would be bumpy," she muttered. "The center of the wheel would move up and down as it turned. It would take a lot of energy to keep pushing it forward." "Exactly," Sarath exclaimed, pointing at her notebook. "Because a circle has a constant radius, the center stays at the same height from the ground. It minimizes friction and maximizes efficiency. That is the why behind the math. When you understand the why, the knowledge becomes yours to use, not just to repeat." He leaned over to look at her heavy bag. Arvi looked at her backpack, then back at the orange in Sarath's hand. The why started to tickle her brain. If wheels made movement efficient by reducing friction and carrying weight evenly, why was she still carrying her bag like a medieval pack mule? "I'm studying mechanics," she whispered to herself. "I should be using them." That evening, Arvi didn't just open her textbooks to memorize. She opened her father's toolkit and found an old, broken suitcase in the garage. She carefully removed the small, sturdy wheels and the extendable handle. She measured the base of her backpack and began to sketch a design that would marry the two together. Sarath walked in and saw her working. He didn't offer to do it for her. Instead, he held the frame steady while she tightened the bolts. "You're applying the physics of the wheel to solve the physics of your sore back," he noted with a proud grin. Arvi laughed, her hands covered in a bit of dust, feeling more energized than she had all week. The next morning, Arvi didn't hunch. She stood tall as she walked to the bus stop, her bag gliding effortlessly behind her on its new trolley. She wasn't just a student carrying books anymore. She was a thinker who had turned a problem into a solution. She realized that the marks would come, but the understanding was what truly set her free.